Good day, freaks. I'm here to do the daily roll and just drop in for a little collective download. It was 0008 on the clock when I said that, followed up by a 13, which for me is a power number, okay? So this is interesting message coming in right off the bat. And then 23, okay. Me and 23, okay? Discordians, you know what I'm talking about with the number 23 here, all right? I haven't even rolled the dice yet, and already the messages are coming in. I really feel like those of you who are on the path of alchemy, maybe you're a root worker, maybe you, are a witch, maybe you are just really interested in studying the occult arts, you're into the metaphysical. Whatever your path in that looks like, I feel like a lot of you are also sort of opening up to a new level of experience on your path. You're noticing that your psychic impressions are picking up. You're getting a lot more downloads. You're noticing that the workings you're doing are really starting to come into fruition. You're seeing results. And you're also experiencing a big shift internally. Things that used to feel really heavy to you or you used to be attached to. Just in, the normal shit that comes along with life. Like, let's say you're having trouble on the job with your boss, or maybe you're having a disagreement with a friend, or you just broke up out of a long-term relationship, these kind of things. I feel like you're also rolling with the punches a lot easier. You're finding a sense of non-attachment. And I don't mean that in the sense of you don't care. It's just that you recognize that sometimes things come into your life for a bit. They're there to serve a purpose. You've been able to, see the lessons that you got out of that situation and why it needed to go down exactly as it did. And at the same time, you're ready to welcome in what arrives in that space that was created through letting go of that old cycle. So there's this energy of really moving into what it means to be an alchemist. And as you understand that all of these difficulties you face are really just opportunities for you to level up and grow on the path, you're finding that you're moving through the attachment part of it a lot quicker, which the attachment part of it is the pain, right? Sometimes you can get into this headspace where you're just watering your pain, nurturing your pain. Oh, what a glorious, forlorn shade of pain this is. People really can get invested in their pain, nursing their pain. And I feel like you're sort of getting these higher keys of knowledge through doing all that integrative work you've done. 333 on the clock. There's that triple trinity energy we were talking about yesterday, where it's about mind, body, spirit, everything coming into alignment. And that's what supports the manifestation. But before anything manifests in the outside world, it first manifests within us. Like, we embody that energy. So I really feel like you're moving into that position of power within yourself, where you're recognizing that the true power is in your freedom. It's when you're not swayed by the day-to-day experiences that happen in your life. You're not swayed out of your center. You don't get attached. You don't get caught up. You don't get stuck, You're able to let these experiences come in, give you the medicine they have to offer, embody the learning, and then let it go, move on to the next moment. I feel a lot of you are becoming more present, okay? So I haven't even rolled the dice yet, but we're gonna roll the dice and we're just gonna see what comes in. I do see a lot of you exploring more too on your path, like really opening up to different different systems of thought, different philosophies sort of branching out in your spiritual exploration, and really vibing off of that. I also feel like you've been getting some downloads, some messages coming in, and then as you've done this spiritual exploration, in traditions that you weren't familiar with, you're seeing these threads of connection between the downloads you've been getting in and what you're learning through exploring these other philosophies. And it's kind of blowing your mind, the way there really is all this interconnection, the way things intersect, Okay, it's interesting because I'm going to just push the dice together. We rolled a 5, okay? So we're in that time of change. And it's a 4 and a 1, all right? So new beginnings that come through a time of change. Right now, we're really focusing on the foundation, creating stability. What is going to be your anchoring points, as this change comes in? Notice the things that tripped you up in the past when things got really busy in your life, We've all been through these periods where lots of change, was occurring in our lives, and it can be destabilizing if you don't have certain things in place. So just knowing that the changes that are coming in are going to be coming in fast. They're going to be coming in fast. They also are going to be a bit unexpected, okay? So what are those things that you can put in place right now in your life, practically, that will give you a landing point where even in the midst of change, even when you're kind of standing on shifting sands, you can have some kind of stability, some type of daily routine that really roots you and grounds you, So we're looking at a self-care picture here. I feel like this really has to do with the body. I feel like maybe it would be good to start a practice where every morning, you put your body first, since your body is the wand, okay? Since your body is the one that is taking on the burden of processing all this energy, and your nervous system can get activated when there's a lot of change going on, right? It can create a lot of stress. It's not necessary. We don't have to move through challenges, with stress, through change with stress. But if you're already kind of depleted, if your foundation is already weak, you might need a little bit more stabilizing. And I feel like what's coming through for me right now is setting up a practice, in the morning where you really stabilize yourself for the day ahead. And I believe it involves the body, actually tending to the physical body, and getting the body used to being in motion, because I feel like you're not going to be doing a lot of sitting around when this change hits. You're going to be out about, you're going to be busy. You're going to have to keep your energy up. This is so important. Nothing happens without energy. If you have no energy, everything stagnates. Okay. It just sits there, with no motivation. And that very much applies to us too. If we're inert, then we're not going to get anything done. And then when change comes, it can really shock us, right? It can really destabilize us, because we're having to make such a radical leap from being in one place of, complete lack of motivation, not getting anything done, having a to-do list a mile long, half-finished projects everywhere, your email is like filling up, you haven't gone through it. So it's those things that are left undone, those loose threads that actually make things complicated when really dynamic change comes on the scene, which is what's coming in for all of us, okay? So what are the things you can do to stabilize yourself right now and get used to being in motion? Exercise is a good place to start. Just waking up in the morning, first thing in the morning, get some exercise in. It doesn't have to be anything, intense if that's not what you're called to do. Although some days you may find that is what you want. You want to go, full in, to your day. You want to really get the energy ramped up to start your day. And if that's what's calling you, cool. But it can be as simple as just doing like a round of 10 sun salutations, just to loosen up the body, open up the body, get the body ready to move into expansion, you know, get the body to loosen up, you know, just open things up, open the energy up, greet the day with energy. It could be going on a walk. You know, maybe you have a dog, take the dog out for a walk. Just start your day with that movement, moving the body, coming into the body, getting connected with the physical. I feel like this is an important piece, and there's something about this piece of exercise being connected with that. Whatever exercise you're drawn to, you know, do what feels good. Put on a song that like fucking hypes you up. 10:33 on the clock when I said that. Put on a song that hypes you up, you know, that motivates you, that makes you feel yourself, and just dance, you know, just dance. Dance around your fucking living room in your underwear, you know, do what you want to do. And I also feel like there's this piece too, for those of you who are in the process where maybe you have been exercising, maybe you're trying to get in shape, maybe you want to drop some weight. I think there's also this piece about really just celebrating and loving up on your body and appreciating where you're at right now. You know, maybe you're not where you want to be, but why can't you love up on your body right now? Why can't you put on the, you know, the cute sundress right now? Why can't you, you know, give yourself, you know, pampering right now? Why is everything a reward if you, you know, drop so many pounds, or, you know, gain so much muscle, or, you know, I'll do this once I'm a size that, you know, fuck all that. Like, there's something about just really feeling comfortable in your own skin, where you're at right now, feeling yourself, enjoying yourself, and not getting hung up on what anybody else thinks about it. You know, maybe you always put on a full face of makeup before you head out the door for the day, and dive into everything that's ahead. Maybe now it's time to just kind of like, just be fresh faced, you know? Don't have a stitch of makeup on. See what that feels like. You know, just being comfortable, being you, being natural. There's something about this today. Just sort of, you know, just removing all the filters, just letting yourself be you as you are, and noticing what comes up for you when you do that. What does come up for you when you take off the makeup? You know, for those of you who have been using filters, you know, on your social media stuff, what happens when you take off the filters? For those of you who have been kind of keeping quiet because maybe you have something to say that other people might think is controversial, what happens when you say those things? You know, don't pay so much attention to the reactions you get from other people. How do you feel inside? What does it bring up in you? These are some foundational things that you need to address going forward, because going forward, to step into what's coming onto the scene for you, you're going to need to be confident. You're going to need to be confident in order to go after it. You're going to need to be able to withstand other people's judgments. Not everybody's going to get where you're going. It's not their journey, so it don't matter. It don't matter. But if you're somebody who's held yourself back in life a lot, based on what other people think of you, or do I fit the stereotypical, you know, person in this role? Let's say you're doing something that puts you in the public eye. Let's say you're doing something that puts you in front of a large group of people, or you're involved in something now, you're heading in a new direction where it totally takes you out of your element. Like, you're a fish out of water. I've never done this before. I don't know how to do this. And maybe you feel uncomfortable because you feel like you don't fit the image of that particular, you know, pool that you're dipping your toes into now. It don't fucking matter. You're not meant to fit an image. You're meant to be you. The power is in you being yourself, being embodied in yourself, expressing yourself, accepting yourself as you are, embracing yourself as you are, and giving other people the opportunity to do that too. But they can't do that if you're always trying to match some identity that you've associated with being at that point of arrival in your life, you know? You really could limit yourself that way. You're limiting yourself according to some conditioned ideal. Maybe that's not what would really make you happy. Maybe happiness is here for you right now, and you're just not appreciating it. You're not noticing it. So I think it's really time to kind of come home into ourselves. This is the first thing that's coming in, and that's the foundation, to feel really stable, really grounded, really centered in yourself, who you are, how you show up, and just who you are naturally. There's something about this. Maybe that's the challenge today for those of you who feel like you always need to have makeup on, or you always have to slap a filter on your picture. And no judgment about that, right? Okay, no judgment. This message isn't coming from judgment, because the reality is there's a lot of pressure out there, for real. And you know, people can have a difficult time with that. At the core of it, you know, people just want to feel like they belong, you know, like they belong, and like they are accepted, you know, for who they are. And sometimes on the way there, they actually lose the essence of who they are by trying to seek that outside approval. And it's something that's very much conditioned in us. It's something that's very much conditioned in society. So if you feel like that, if you're struggling with stuff like that, don't be hard on yourself about it, okay? But know that this is like a place of foundational work to do, to really feel strong and empowered in yourself, to really feel yourself, you know? And as you feel yourself, the right people will feel you too. Trust me on that. The right people will feel you too. The right people will be drawn to you. You know, the connections you need to make will come in. The opportunities that are for you will come in, because then you are really living in integrity. And when you align with your integrity, you align with the path that's meant for you. You align with the people meant for you. You align with the opportunities meant for you. So just for today, you know, see what it's like. If you normally put on a full face of makeup before you leave the house, just try not doing that today. What if you just took it all off? What if you just took it all off? It's a challenge, okay? I'm challenging those who, you know, normally rely on that. Just experiment with it. Maybe it's just to go to the corner store or something. You don't have to spend your whole day without your makeup if you notice it makes you feel really uncomfortable. But notice what it brings up in you, because that's the work that needs to be done. That's the healing work that needs to be done. That's the inner foundational work that needs to be done. You know, with this one here, I'm really seeing it starts with you. It starts with you. And if you can get to a really solid, you know, place inside of yourself where you feel confident, where you're comfortable with who you are, then the types of experiences you're going to create for yourself in your life are going to reflect that, all right? Brings in a really beautiful energy. Very foundational energy on the ends. We have 4 and we have 5. So much like yesterday, it's that 9 energy. It's time for us to wrap things up. It's time for us to bring things to a closure. I do feel like some of you are going to be making an important decision today to end a particular connection. 18:55 on the clock when I said that. So that's 9, again, reflected again, bringing things to a closure and ending. Double 5s, that's all about that change. 5 and 5 is 10, okay? That's ending a cycle that leads to a new beginning and brings new gifts into your life. So I do feel that some of you have been on the fence about a particular connection, and it was 19:19 on the clock when I said that. Double 10s, okay? You've been on the fence about it. Should I close this up? You know, should I end this connection? Is it time for me to walk away? And I think the answer to that is yes. And a lot of you are going to be coming to that conclusion today and sort of just sitting in the acknowledgement of that and preparing yourself to close that chapter in your life. There may be some final, just emotional release that you need to do around that, but I do see that it's going to be beneficial. Yeah, this is what's on deck today. We have, again, on the other side, a 4 and a 1, and then on the other side, a 6 and a 3. So it's all change that's coming in through the endings in our lives right now. And with that 10, energy so forward, 2020 on the clock when I said that. Yeah, which is 10 doubled, right? Okay. 2, squared, all right, even. So the thing is that you have to understand that in the cases where you're letting go of a relationship, all right, and maybe this is somebody you really loved and it's a deep connection and it's hard to let go, you have to understand that relationship, it brought to your path what it needed to bring to your path. And so maybe you've been spending a lot of time looking at the painful aspects. Maybe you've been looking at the aspects of the relationship that gave you this wound you feel like you're healing, and maybe the parts that have made you angry or where you felt disappointment. And the message that's really coming through is it's time to stop focusing on that and instead just take a moment to be grateful for what you've learned from this relationship. What are all the lessons you learned? What are the gifts that came forward for you through this relationship? What things happened in your life that actually have been beneficial for you that never would have been possible unless you would have connected with this person? Okay? What did they awaken in you? What did they stir in you? What did they bring forward in you that couldn't have been brought forward any other way through any other person? Okay, it's time to kind of like focus on this aspect instead. And the parts where you're not able to come to a place of acceptance, okay, because maybe you felt like you were done real dirty, the key is to just get to a place where you can say to yourself, I'm willing to let it go. All right, I'm willing. Just be willing to let it go. I'm willing to let go of the pain. And let that be a statement, that you allow to be the template moving forward. And it was 22:33 on the clock when I said that. This will be of great help for you. This allows what you need to actually feel strong enough to let go, or vindicated. This came in too. Vindicated enough to let go, to come in for you in the form of the support you need, the spiritual assistance, the inner guidance, the directive, the confidence, the inner strength. There's a lot of this like confidence energy coming forward today. There's this need to build up the confidence. Maybe you've been afraid, you've been afraid to step out on your own. For those of you who are like serial monogamous, you just jump from one committed relationship to the next. You're going to be okay. 23 on the clock when I said that. There is empowerment that comes through in these changes. And these changes are what lead you to a new beginning where you actually align with the person you're meant to be with. For those of you that are looking, to have that type of partnership in your life. If you're wanting, to find that soulmate, if that's something that's really tugging on you, you want to have that in your life. That's something you envision. You want to share your life with someone. Well, by letting go of this relationship, you're allowing that to come in. You're allowing that to come in. Sometimes you have to release in order to receive. That's just the way it is, And for some of you, you've already done the letting go. And it's just that you're still holding on to pain around it. And it's really time to just drop that part of it. Drop it in the sense of, I'm going to just set it aside. I've looked at this pain for a long time. I know this pain in and out. I know what it's about. I know the story of it. And I'm just going to be willing to set it aside for right now. And instead, I'm going to focus on the other things. What did I gain from it? And I'm going to remind myself that I am willing to let go of the pain. I mean, are you willing to let go of the pain? This is a big question you need to ask yourself right now. Are you willing? Are you willing to let it go? Letting it go means it no longer takes up, rent in your consciousness. It's no longer something you ruminate on all the time. You just let it go. Okay, yeah, that happened. That sucked. Fuck them. Wherever you're at, okay? They're a piece of shit, Come on. Sometimes you have to be honest about what you feel. People who say that you have to sit there and you have to be this pious example of forgiveness, that's bullshit. We move through things as we move through things. And feeling anger is sometimes a big part of that. And sometimes forgiveness means I just walk away from you and I have my peace back. It's not even about giving you forgiveness. It's that I forgive myself for fucking sitting here so long in this pain, processing this shit, and giving my power away to you. Somebody who had no value, no respect for me, who would hurt me so unconsciously, and not even bother, to want to make things right with me. You know what I mean? You have to really think about what you're holding a place card for and how it disempowers you. And that's part of getting your confidence back. All right. So interesting message. Didn't expect that. We're going to go ahead and pull a charm and just see what further elaboration we have on that message with the daily roll. I think it really is all about kind of like coming into your mojo though. Like, do the things that make you feel good, and also get used to feeling good in your own skin as you are. You don't need adornments. You don't need embellishment. You don't need fucking filters. You are just fine as you are, You are beautiful as you are. You are beautiful in your own expression of who you are, And it's really about opening up to that and understanding how you've let other people sort of dictate how you see yourself and learning how to see yourself through your own eyes. All right? So today, we got the wheelbarrow, okay? So it's time to, do a haul, go through your consciousness. Go through your friends list. Go through your environment and look at anything that you are giving energy to, time and space to, that really is detracting from you just simply just feeling good about yourself, feeling empowered in yourself. And if you have things you're holding on to emotionally that are making you feel like shit, that have you talking to yourself negatively, that are holding you back in your life, let that shit go. And if you're hanging out with people who are nice to your face, but they're talking smack behind your back and putting you down, or maybe they don't support you in what you're doing, They talk down to you or try to belittle you, or they want you to stand in a corner and be small so they can, feel like they're more important. Ditch those people. You don't need people like that around you. And if there's any influence in your environment that's not feeling right to you, that just throws you off, that doesn't make you feel your best, do what you can to address it. And start showing up for you, Just bundle up all that shit, bag it, tag it, fucking haul it out of your life. Because moving forward, you want to have a certain lightness of being, all right? You don't want to drag yourself into your new cycle. You want to feel light on your feet, you know? You want to be able to saunter in, right? You know, do the nice, you know, dramatic catwalk towards what's waiting for you at the other side of all you've been through. And it is coming, all right? So put some focus on yourself today and what makes you feel good, just as you are. And ditch what tells you you aren't good enough right where you're at.